Please, sorry for that interruption. It's actually the network. Sometimes you can't vouch for the network. It's sometimes critical. Sometimes critical. And welcome back. Yes, we're looking at the revelation of a notorious terrorist leader in the north, in Zamfara, where they were interviewed, where he was interviewed by BBC, and he granted that interview yesterday. No, yes, this today. Sorry, today is the 26th of July 2022. The interview was granted, and he said some stuff. So before I go on that, I was actually trying to analyze some confusion that people may have about these terrorist activities. Because most people who vouch for one Nigeria will always tell you, if the government is the one sponsoring terrorism, then how come that the terrorists are attacking the government? It's as simple as ABC. Look at the nations where terrorists are. You will discover that they have lots different factions, of terrorists sponsored by each interest in the Islamic world. Each of them have their sponsors, particular sponsors. Let's say, for instance, in Nigeria, you have Erufai, who brought the first set of Boko Haram people to help them to, to rig the election. You have the ones spearheaded by Buhari, the late Buhari. Then you have the ones that are, other people like Shetima and Co. And the other man from Mauritania. All of them having their own factions, and then you have other factions who have discovered that the way has been opened, the avenue, the access to Nigeria is open. So they begin to come in, begin to troop in, having their own factions and their own team and their own men, their own team killers coming in. The main purpose is for each faction to fight to have the control, the main control, so that others will be under them. So the target is that we need to have control, like Taliban's have control of Afghanistan. And then ISIS is also struggling, fighting them to see that they take control. Everybody is seeking for control. Everybody is seeking for supremacy and to be superior than the other. They are all from the Islamic world, being controlled, being sponsored from the Islamic world, being sponsored, being controlled from the Islamic world by each units and cabal in that regard. When you go there, they have different cabals, having their own terrorist organizations, and then also spreading them all over the nations of the world. So the Fulanis are having so many of them sponsored by several cabals in the Islamic world, in the Arab world, having their interest to take over the oil, and of course being used by Britain, as proxy to conquer, and also on behalf of them in the Nigeria contraption, since Britain is actually in charge of that Nigeria business angle, the Nigeria business edifice that they have created since 1914, and which is already expired and which is going to implode. Now, we're telling you also, of course, you have to know that the times are critical, especially when you're in Biafra land. You should know that things are going to be happening. You have to secure yourself. You have to be careful. Those of you who are in the northern part of Nigeria, we are still begging you to leave that area, because you might become the sacrificial or the scapegoat. They will kill you and nothing will happen. They kept saying it. They have been saying it. They said it through the SARS, their police called SARS. They have been saying it in different angles. The terrorists say it when they kidnap. They tell you nothing will happen. The government is behind them. Now, this terrorist who is from the north said something critical to us when he was granting interview to BBC. His name is Audu Alero. He's the leader of a faction, a very notorious leader and a notorious faction. They are all notorious. They are all brutal. They are all brutal, but some are, the leaders of others. Some have a stronger network system. Some have, a better equipped system, equipped and force, so they now can override others, and others will respect them. One thing I've discovered about the Fulanese and their militias, of course, their agenda is Fulanization using the tool of Islam. Of course, religion has been the source of dominance and control all over the nations of the world. And through what God says, the words of God, they manipulate it to create religious sects. Just like we had, in those days when the Roman Empire came, and when Christ now came, after Christ left, the disciples of Christ were propagating the gospel, and suddenly the Roman Empire came in. I'm sorry, the Roman Empire was already in, and they now began to see how quickly the gospel of Christ was being propagated and going around all over the world. What they did now was to hijack the system, using it because those days, before they embraced that, they had actually embraced the concept of Nimrod's religion, and that has been the system that had been the regular thing, has been the norm from the time of Nimrod's, building of Tower of Babel when he established that Nimrodic sect and religious system. It has been coming on through all the empires of the world, through the Babylonian Empire, the Egyptian Empire, the Assyrian Empire. Before the Babylonian Empire, you had the Egyptian Empire, first, which, of course, we had other little empires, but the Egyptian Empire was this conspicuous one. They were in charge then. They were the world powers, the world power, and they, of course, Israel became their slaves, and then Israel left there and then got the victory through God, who brought them out of that sect and out of that restriction and that bondage. And of course, then we had the Assyrian Empire, the Assyrians taking Israel into bondage several times and like that, until we got into, from the Assyrian Empire, it got into the Babylonian Empire, the Babylonian system of rulership, which of course Daniel was there, and there was a revelation to show him other empires that will come. From then, the Mede-Persian Empire took over from the Babylonian Empire. They controlled Israel, they did all of that, and they destroyed, they did lots of things. And under that same empire, Jerusalem was rebuilt. And then suddenly there was a disruption. Alexander the Great came, who established the Grecian Empire of Greece, and several actions came under that empire until the Romans came. The Romans came and took over, and the Roman Empire came into being, and then Christ was involved, and then of course Christ came and left, and then the disciples. All of these empires were making use of religion. That's Nimrod's religious system, having to do with the use of the penances, the chaplets, the prayer, the sign of the cross, and all of that. All of that. Some of you don't even know that the sign of the cross didn't start with Christianity. It has been there long ago. It has been a religious and a spiritual religious system of worship and all of that. It's been there. So that was how this thing happened until we got to the point of the Roman Empire, and then the Roman Empire scattered. And of course, all governments of the world today, we have a free system, which is, of course, we know by biblical standard is the church age, where we have different governments and world powers coming up from different places and springing up from different points. And all of these are also using the concept of religion. So when the Romans saw that Christianity was spreading, they now imbibed Christianity into the Roman system of worship, which is under the Nimrod system of worship. They brought it in, they brought Christianity and twisted it and composed a religious system from it, so that it will include the use of the sign of the cross, the penances, the chaplets, the confession to priests, and all of these, which had been in other empires and in other system of worship. They brought it in, and that is how we came to understand that today the greatest or the largest religious sect, which is the Roman Catholic Church. I'm not talking about the Catholic Church now. Of course, the meaning of Catholic Church means the universal church. The Catholic Church means every church, talking about the body of Christ. But when you talk about the Roman Catholic Church, it is the Roman version of the universal church, which was designed using the Nimrod's collections, like I told you, the use of the penances, the confession to priest, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit concept. Of course, we know there's Trinity, but we're talking about the mother, the incarnate mother, the spiritual mother, the Son, and the Father, and all of that, and using Mary as one of the object and item of worship. Of course, they will tell you that they don't worship Mary. I'm not here to preach religion anyways, but I'm just trying to tell you how religion has metamorphosed and has been a tool of conquest, in all these system. And so now the Islam came, and then Islam became another tool, violently to kill. They begin to kill and to spread very fast. That is why you see that Islam is spreading so fast, because they come violently. They don't give you room to choose. You cannot choose. You must accept it. If you don't accept it, you become their slave, or you begin to pay, taxes. They lay some heavy taxes on you as soon as they conquer you, and so they lay some heavy taxes on you, and then they tax you strongly, and until you are subdued, and they kill your men, they marry your women, they take over your children, convert your children and kill the. Then females are very important because they are very good at the pedophile style of living. They deal with little girls and all of that, even the boys and all of that. The sexual immorality and all of that. They are very good at it. So they pillage. They do lots of things in the name of religion, and they use it to spread. And that is why Islam is spreading so wide everywhere today in UK. Islam is like a dominant religion. We all know these things. If they can penetrate UK, then you should know that something is wrong somewhere, and we are. You should know that they are very strongly after you in your land. So this happened, anyways, and then now we see, as I was saying, in the Taliban system. You know, Now the Taliban, have become the dominant terrorist organization in control of a country called Afghanistan. That is how they want to dominate. Now, in the place of Nigeria, the British is in control, but the British knows that just like the hands soft, just like the international community had to leave Afghanistan and allow these people to rule, but still because they are still refusing not to submit to the international community. They had to be, excommunicated, disconnected from the international community, and because they are not respecting the international community, so they have to be disconnected. But in the case of Nigeria, the Fulanis are proven also to still be, because the Fulanis are still the stooges of these people. So they've proven to be loyal. So the British is allowing them to dominate, to conquer, to take over, so that they can be in control. It's not good. So the network again, the network system. Please, sorry for the interruption. The network, I don't know why the thing is having this kind of situation, you know. So they have their interests, and so these people will have to take over since they are loyal to them. The Fulanis to take over and then continue to protect their interests. That is what happened. So now they had this interview, and what the man said, Alero said to the British. I want to analyze this story, this interview with BBC. And that's Abdul Alero, in charge of one of the sect, one of the terrorist organization, in Zamfara, said something strongly. They asked him why he was doing what he was doing. He said that is the only way they can protest. They protest with guns. That is how they are taught. That is what they stand for. They don't know the media. They don't have anything to do with the media. And they protest with guns. And they push forth with their guns and their weapons. That's what they know. And that's the only way they know how to protest. And what are they protesting? Now you can imagine people who are protesting. What are they protesting? You're protesting in a country, a so-called country that is not yours. How can you be protesting in a country that is not yours? You came into the country with AK-47 and you say you're protesting. Now we're going to analyze all of that. We're going to look at it then so that you know that the government of Nigeria has a hand in it. Now, he said that they don't know the media. They protest with guns, and that they asked him and they said, and why do you now kidnap children and women and all of that? He said, well, of course, they're takia, lies. He said they are sorry, but they have to make the government wake up. Now, look at it. They want to make the government wake up. Which government are you trying to make wake up? You are not a Nigerian. You are not Nigerians. You came in from all Sahel, and you came into a place a place called Nigeria by British, the British government, and by the Britons. Now you have come into that place, and now you are saying that you want to make the government wake up, and you are protesting. Now, how can you protest in a land that is not yours? You come in, it's just like me going to Britain, and I begin to protest against the government. What am I protesting? I'm not a citizen. I'm not part of the interest. I'm only there to secure myself and to do so. If I came there for business, I do my business. I don't have any legal right to actually do anything basic, because I am not a citizen. I cannot tell them how to run their affairs. I cannot tell them what to do. But now here are foreigners, killers with AK-47 coming from all over, illiterates who don't even know anything about governance and all of that. They came in and they tell you that they are protesting. What comes into your mind? As simple as that. They have an agreement that is standing somewhere. These are people who are illiterates, sponsored by militias, sponsored by some rich people in the Arab world. They have come for the interest of taking over. That means they were sent to come. And they are telling you that what they are doing is protesting. What they know how to do protest is with guns. So these people who are leading them, these people who are sponsoring them, are the ones rightly having the main interest using these ones. So these ones will now have to come with the guns. They give these ones with the guns. So all these ones know, as they said, is the guns. They are correct. They just come have to talk about it. They have to protest with the guns, and that is how it is. So now they have revealed to you now that they are just messengers. They come with the guns. They protest with the guns. That's what they don't know about diplomatic discussions. They don't know about diplomacy. They don't know about negotiations. They don't know about any other thing. Their work is to come and kill because they were sent. So they actually reveal to you that there is somebody behind us, or there are people behind us, and our job, what the job they have given to us, is to come and kill. And the job they have given to us is to come and pillage, to kill and shoot and keep moving and taking over communities. So the man is saying that we don't know about journalists because it's not even in our place to discuss with journalists. It is not even in our position to discuss with journalists. It is not even in our place to negotiate with anybody. We have come to Nigeria because we have been sent by a system, a structure, to come and carry out an activity for them. So the work we are called to do is to kill, to take over the communities, and to rape the women, to kill the children. If you say that we're killing children, well, we are sorry for that, but that is the work we are given. So he tells you that we have nothing to do with media. That is what he told BBC. We don't have anything to do with media. Our work is to protest with guns so that the government will wake up. Now, they linked their protest to the government. Now, remember, these people are not Nigerians. They came from Mauritania, they came from Niger Republic, they came from Sudan, they came from Libya. They are still coming in from all these places, more and from all over the Sahel. They are coming in, and they are Fulanis from one tribe. Now they are telling you from one of the terrorist spokesperson, or one of the terrorists whose name is Audu, Lero, Alero Audu. He is saying that we don't know other way to protest than to use the guns. Now, let me link it to the activities of the one Nigerianists, those who are going for election and those who are thinking of those ones who are saying that they are Nigerians. Now, these people have a connection to the government of Nigeria. Their leaders have a connection with the government of Nigeria. There's an agreement that, of course, I'll still keep talking. We have been talking about it anyways, but I'm going to analyze it here also. Now, the agreement here is that Nigeria, of course, is the point of reference here. So these people come with AK-47 and they come into Nigeria, allowed and permitted by Nigeria government. Nigeria government have not raised alarm that foreigners are coming in to take over. They have not raised alarm. Rather, they discussed it on, of course, most of them come to the media and discuss and have interviews. They tell you that these people are also our brothers. They are Fulanis. They don't have a country. They are everywhere. They are all Africans. So they are free to come in. Now, you can imagine a sovereign country. It's just like an Igbo man going to Egypt saying that we're all Africans. So he wants to come and invade. He just comes with people and just come with AK-47 to enter there. And the Egyptian government will say, okay, we are all Africans. They are Igbos. They live all over the nations of the world. So we can permit them. We can allow them. Or maybe the American government will say, they are Igbos. They are all over the nations of the world. During the BIAFRA war, they were displaced. And so they are going all over the nations of the world. So now that they are coming in with AK-47 and all of that into our country, let's allow them. They are brothers, they are friends, they are people. It's just the same thing. Now, the government agents, people working under the government who are Fulanis, are telling you, of course, we have seen most of the interviews that these Fulani people grant to Arise TV, to Channels TV, and all of that. They tell you that